Oh baby, you so juicy, juicy, yeah, yeah. Do you mind if I slide? You like the way I work you out. I don't mind if you tease me now. My lady, you deserve a crown now. I like it when you take it to the ground. Do your dance, mommy? Yes. Honey, I like the way you work for me. The way you move your ass got me going down. You got it, girl, you got it.
So my name is Baint. I'm an entrepreneur, YouTuber, I guess. I just started my channel like recently this year. Have been doing content for a long time. I've grown and sold a couple businesses, kind of in the process of building up another one right now. Really, my main goal at the moment is to continue building that business, but also with like the YouTube and the content side of things. Really just to be kind of that like older brother figure that I didn't really have growing up and continue to use kind of my life experience, not only in business, men's health, and, relationships and stuff like that, and kind of just pass that along and pay it forward and, try to help the younger guys and just be a good influence and role model to, some of the dudes that could potentially use that. Cause I think that, our youth right now is in a weird situation where they don't really know what the fuck to look up to, or they don't really have solid role models and people that are giving them good game and advice. So to contribute to that and kind of relay a lot of the information that I've got from older guys that have helped me a lot, and also just life experience, I think is really what I'm trying to do at the moment.
Sounds good, man. Can you share what it is that you're doing for business stuff?
Yeah, so I run a digital marketing agency,
Okay.
and I don't really want to go into the specifics of what industry I'm in because a lot
Mm,
of people are in the same kind of, field, and I don't
yeah.
want a bunch of like competition to swap over to that. But
Yeah.
I help bigger home service based companies basically with their advertising, with their websites, stuff like that.
Okay. And then, hey man, you say you started this year, man. I checked out your channel, so you already like on the go. I see you like trying to be consistent already.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I've done YouTube for a long time. I
Okay.
actually had like a gaming channel back when I was in like, I don't know, fifth or sixth grade. So I've always been making content. I probably had a period of time of like 5 years where I was making a lot of music. I wanted to be like an artist, and I got into music production, audio engineering, and creating
Okay. Okay.
content and music videos. So yeah, I've always kind of had that like creative aspect and have been really into like making content and stuff like that. So even though I started like this YouTube channel relatively recently, like I kind of know, what it takes to be successful on the platform, and that consistency and the improving of content over time is something that it was kind of just easy to jump into. So yeah, I'm trying to kind of take it serious straight off the rip.
Yeah, that's real good, man. Because yeah, I seen like the pattern, like you have consistent, like with your views and the time you're laying everything down. So it's pretty much like you said, like sounds like you already know what the get down is.
Yep. Yep.
So real quick, man. First question we're gonna be so you got the new people in here, which would be people finding what it is, finding who is going to inspire them online. Like obviously, you can Google anything nowadays, and YouTube's going to drop a content creator in your lap. It's going to be like, this is the content, this is my experience, this is why you should listen to me. Like for your coming from your experience, somebody's 18, 21 searching, already has a car, basic stuff, living at home, but still don't know what they want to do, whether it's school, some trade school things, following their friends, obviously killing time after work and just doing just hangout shit, nothing productive. What are your three
Mm.
first steps to just positioning yourself for like better life?
For one, cut out toxic habits and people.
Mm,
If you're still smoking weed, bro, if you're still drinking with friends, you're still partying, you're doing that kind of shit. If you, I mean, you have to prioritize what you want out of your life, right? And you have to recognize and understand that certain things are going to lead to you getting more opportunities and your growth and your evolution as a person and as a man, and kind of steer you more in the direction that you want to go. And then there's going to be certain things, certain habits, hobbies, activities, people that hold you in the same place that you're currently at. So I'd say step number one is definitely to eliminate toxic shit first. A
mm,
lot of guys, and myself included, are like, oh, bro, look at all these like positive habits. I could read books and go to the gym and do this
mm.
other shit. You'll gain so much more just by eliminating the negative things that are holding you back first, instead of thinking you're going to flip this switch and all of a sudden be this super positive, productive, person that's just like biohacking and going to the
Yeah.
gym and reading books and doing all this other shit. People don't flip the switch like that. So getting rid of the negative things that are holding you back is step number one. Step number two is throw your ego to the side and start looking for things as opportunities. And there's so much stuff that's out there, but a lot of people are like, oh, bro, I don't want to go be a plumber or an electrician. That's like not a cool job.
Mm,
I want to run an online e-commerce store. I want to run like a drop shipping store. I want to fucking do Amazon FBA or, lease rental exotic cars.
yeah.
Dude, there's a million different ways to skin the cat. And a lot of the things that have led to me finding actually really solid opportunities, bro, I had to take this detour route that was nothing like the path I thought was going to take me to where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there's guys out there right now that are passing up a lot of good opportunities because it's not the cool thing to
Mm,
do.
okay.
So there are so many things out there where, like, bro, you could be gaining experience in a trade or a craft, earning really solid money, and then also getting like insider experience. Like what I do right now with the marketing stuff,
Mm,
bro, I worked in the industry that I work with. I ran a business in the industry that I'm working with.
mm,
And all of those skill sets kind of compounded. And literally all I did was just keep climbing the ladder. I went from working for a business to owning and running the business to now helping other people grow and scale their
mm,
businesses. So really just getting into some field, some, lane and riding that out and just climbing the ladder sometimes can be a good strategy. And I've bounced around a lot, bro. I've tried a clothing brand. I tried to make
okay.
music and like rap and shit. I've made content, bro. I like, I started the e-commerce stores, bro. I've done
Mm,
everything. You know what I mean? I bounced around a lot just trying to figure things out.
okay.
But, honestly, the best move that I made was like getting into an industry, sticking with it, learning everything about it, and then kind of just like slowly climbing the ladder within that. So I know that's kind of a long-winded answer, but to get back to the main question, I would say, don't be turning down opportunities
Mm,
because it's not the cool thing to do. There's a lot of really great things that you could be doing out there to make money and learn shit. Um, but you might have to sacrifice, the cool factor, your ego a little bit. So
okay. Yeah, I
I
see
think
what
a
you're
lot
saying
of
about the
guys,
whole like things that's not cool. Like you're saying, like everybody wants to be their own boss, their own CEO now, just because it looks cool, but they don't want to understand the traits and what it takes to actually succeed in that field. I understand. I get what you're saying with that. Um, can you name something real quick? I don't know. Give me two things that something that's most commonly toxic that people don't want to let go of. Like, for instance, a lot of people don't understand the people around them, like the friends and surroundings and stuff like that. Like the people they affiliate with could be toxic, and they don't want to let go of them. Just maybe, would you say guilty by association and just guilty because like they're loyal to default, probably?
yeah. So the question is basically like, what are two things that people should be letting go that they're not, or like they're hesitant
Yeah,
to
yeah,
for
yeah.
whatever
That
reason?
they don't want to let go.
Yeah. The big ones for me were drinking and smoking.
Mm,
I never drank a ton, but I still kind of like wanted to be around the people that were like partying and shit. Cause
mm,
again, it was
okay.
like the cool thing to do, right? But bro, I was a huge fucking stoner.
Mm,
And that took a lot of me figuring out like, if I want to actually make something out of myself in life, like, and dude, I'm not trying to say like if you smoke weed, you're a bad person, you're never going to be successful, shit like that. But
yeah.
for me personally, like, dude, I have a super addictive personality. So any substance or any, external thing that like pulls my attention or, could fuck up my priorities,
Mm,
that's something that I have to like take an approach of abstinence with. So for me, it was cutting out drugs and alcohol
okay.
and kind of with that, once that left, bro, the people that were also associated with that,
Mm,
like I lost a lot of friends in that process too. You know what I mean? Because typically those people that you're doing that stuff with, some of them might actually be your friends, but some of them are just like your smoking buddies. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Okay.
So it sucks to lose people like that. And I think that that's something that definitely holds dudes back is um not necessarily like the emotional connection, but the personal connection that you feel like you're abandoning people
Yeah.
or like you're leaving them, dry or whatever. But dude, if you want to really make something of yourself, you have to be selfish sometimes. And it's hard. It really is. But
Mm,
at the end of the day, you only live once, bro. And you want to look back at this later on and be like, damn, if I had just like tried that thing or cut those people off and did me for a little bit. It's the uncomfortable thing to do. It's the hard thing to do, but a lot of times that's what leads to the best opportunities and it's the right thing to do as well. So
Okay, very good
yeah.
answer. Um, can you give you a scenario? You got a 21-year-old that was doing good for a minute, but then got caught up with the wrong crowds, wrong friends, doing the wrong things, and actually loses himself, loses his job, and is just feeling like just lone and depressed. Can you give some suggestions on how he could take steps on recovering and bouncing back?
Okay. So honestly, I was in a pretty similar position to that scenario you just
Perfect.
named. I
Yeah,
was
perfect.
21 with the wrong people, doing the wrong shit, completely lost, and had no money, was broke, and just was completely like, what the fuck do I do with life? Like, I feel like I was on a path, bro, and then shit just like imploded in my face. It's like, all right, well, how do I deal with this? So the first thing was, again, kind of getting rid of the people that I was hanging out with that were not benefiting my life or not on the same level of commitment to getting to the goals that I had that I wanted. And I knew I always had that vision. And that's kind of the thing that's been my North Star, right? Like it's evolved over time, but I would say that for that dude that's depressed and anxious or maybe doesn't know what the fuck to do and their life is kind of falling apart, you need to build a vision of the future life that you want for yourself and use that as like, okay, you know, I have this vision, and have a little bit of faith too. I don't know, it doesn't matter what, like, religion, you're spiritual, Christian,
Mm,
Muslim, whatever, it doesn't matter, but bro, having a little bit of something to power you when you're on those days where you just like, bro, you could just fucking end it. It's life sucks. Everything's miserable. Bro, it happens to everybody. But when you're 21, like I just remember being there. It wasn't that long ago. I'm about to be 25 now. So
mm,
just like that period of time was hard, bro. It really felt hopeless. So you need something to kind of get you through that. Even though you might not see it manifest in your physical life right away, the hope and the vision of what your future could look like if you commit to yourself and to your goals, that's the thing that's going to push you forward. And that little bit of faith that you have secures that and strengthens that.
mm,
So I would say, first thing for that dude is to find a vision, create the life that you actually want in your head. And a lot of times, what happens is once you build that vision, the roadmap becomes pretty clear. You're like, all right, I need money, I need experience, I need
mm,
to do this. This thing needs to go. I need to set this up like this. Most people, bro, they know what they need to do if they want to get to the goals that they have. It's just a matter of executing on that and taking the action. So, the 21-year-old, dude, as much as it might hurt your ego, this is what I did. I got a job with my dad who did like construction work, and I moved back home. It sucked, bro. Took a
mm,
huge hit to my pride and my
mm,
ego, but it was a period of time where I isolated myself from everything. I was completely alone, living at home, stacking bread, and just focusing completely on how do I build up my body? How do I build up my mind and my skill set? How do I learn how to make more money? And then using all of that stuff to actually do the things that I want to do and just take that period of time, withdraw from everything. I would say that to make it short and sweet to wrap it all up, the answer to that question is isolate yourself and figure the fuck out what you really want to do with your life,
mm,
and then come up with a vision, come up with a plan, and make sacrifices. Be like, okay, I'm going to commit to this for the next 2 years, 3 years of my life. I
mm,
don't care what it looks like tomorrow, 2 months from now, or a year from now. I know that if I stick with this thing, life will be better and life will be different in 2, 3 years' time, and just lock in and isolate yourself. All of my growth as a person on like a self-improvement, you
mm,
know, type of level has come from periods of me just being by myself, really locked in,
mm,
focused on me, focused on my work. And so I think that's something that most guys at some point in their life, whether it be 17, 18, or 21, there's going to be that period where you kind of just need to do some figuring out of shit. And the easiest way to do that without outside influence and people spitting in your ear and like, oh,
mm.
my friends want to do this, and oh, this person thinks that. And bro, you got to be by yourself sometimes. And it's hard to do, but I think it's a necessary step in the
Okay.
path towards getting to where you want to go.
A quick question. I know that the person, like, obviously they're speaking to the subs that you're speaking to. Somebody would respond with, how do they deal with feeling guilty, like isolating themselves and turning their back on friends and stuff like that? Like, how did you deal with that?
Hmm. All right. So really, it's like, do you want to feel guilty now or do you want to hate them later?
Mm, okay. Like that.
If you stay, bro, you know what you're giving up. the future that you want is the price that you're paying to hang out with the people that you don't even want to be hanging out with anyways.
Okay.
And the truth is, bro, like, they might not even be your real friends in the first place. But the truth is, if you as soon as you have that thought of like, I don't know if these are the right people, as soon as you think that, dude, it's over, it's done. And if you continue to stay in that environment, you're lessening yourself, you're degrading yourself. And honestly, like I said, bro, you're just gonna hate them, you're gonna resent them, you're gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing here? And then at that point, you become a bad friend to them too. And it doesn't work, dude. Like,
Mm.
why put yourself through that? Why put them through that? It's better to just be honest with them and be like, yo, guys, I love you. You're my homies. We've been friends for years, but like, I can't co-sign, I can't fuck with the shit that we're still doing, that we've been doing, and it's not getting us anywhere. Like, I love you guys. It's not personal, but I need to take a little bit of time for me and see what I can do for me. And you know what? There might be dudes that are in that group that are like, yo, he's fucking right, man.
Okay.
Or they've been thinking that too, and they're like, holy shit, like, okay, let's do it then. So I would still recommend kind of just being by yourself, but you might inspire the other dudes in that group to kind of take it serious too. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, if you just stay in that situation, you're only going to end up uncomfortable, miserable, pissed off, and resenting them. So it's just not worth it.
Okay.
That's when the bridges actually get burned.
Okay. I get what you're saying. So what about how would you say, I don't know if this happened to you, but how do you respond back to the people that feel like time went by, you had a gap in between because you need to work on yourself. Now they're seeing you self-improve, your income's better and stuff like that, and they're trying to feel like you stepped away from them because you think you're better than them, like you're not their friend no more for some reason.
Um,
How did you deal
like,
with
how
anything
do
like
I
that?
address that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's been people that I've been friends with for a long time.
Did
And,
did they
it doesn't
understand that you
necessarily mean
needed your
that.
time alone, or?
Yeah, actually, you know what? This is a really great, I can say this. I've had a buddy of mine that I grew up with, known for a very, very long time, and was kind of like a part of that core friend group that I had in like middle school, high school. Like, we were homies. We were the boys when we were like younger, growing up and stuff.
Mm,
And at one point I had to separate myself from that group. It was immature, people wasting time doing shit that I knew wasn't going to benefit my life and go in the direction that I wanted to.
mm-hmm,
And without really saying much, I kind of just removed myself from that situation and decided to focus on me. And like you said, a couple years later go by and the results are in. And I've had one of my probably my best friend out of that group hit me up. He's like, "Yo, dude, I just wanted to say that like at the time I was like kind of mad and felt like you had just like left us and shit, but now I get it." Like, because
mm,
he's trying to do the same thing for himself. And he's like,
okay.
"Dude, like I want to apologize for me being a dick and maybe judging you and thinking that you were kind of just like being an ass and abandoning us, whatever. But now that I've taken myself and my self-improvement journey a little more serious. Now that there's things that I want out of life that I'm not getting by being associated with that crowd, he's like, bro, I get it. So
Mm,
I just want to kind of like let you know that, no hard feelings, dude. And I understand now. And so, bro, everybody has, everyone's on their own timing. Everyone's gonna, hopefully, most men at
mm,
least at one point are gonna have a purpose or a calling or something that they feel is, you know, lighting them up more than sitting around the bonfire with the boys drinking Bud Light or whatever the fuck you do. Like, so most guys will have that feeling at one point or another. Just as like, bro, everyone has that light bulb go off
mm.
at a different time.
Yeah,
So
very true.
they'll come around to it eventually.
Okay. And then, I mean, most everybody, you could have a family member, best friend, or even actual another content creator, or so. Who? Give me, might be three, or might just be one. It's up to you. But give me up to three people in your life that inspired you to put you where you are sitting actually today. So helped you through your journey, helped you focus, gave you good advice. Who are those people?
Hmm. All right. Well, the first one would definitely be my dad.
Okay.
So growing up, my dad was always traveling for work, and it kind of sucked. It's like it's bittersweet, dude, because there's still pieces of me that are like fucked up by it.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't around a lot when I was little. My parents are still together. I'm thankful for that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They've somehow kept their relationship intact, which is a beautiful thing to see. But like especially going through high school, bro, like my dad wasn't there all the time, so I
Mm,
didn't really have that like solid masculine role model. But the thing that I can salvage from all of that was the whole time, dude, I knew that like, yo, dad's out working, dad's out hustling.
mm,
And you know what I mean? He might not be here for me right now, but he's doing things that so he can be here for me and provide for my whole family and we can live like a good life. You know
mm.
what I mean? So that
Okay.
was something that I always really internalized. And there was a moment when I was younger, like 5 or 6, and I was, complaining about doing some like yard work, like picking up sticks or spreading some mulch in the garden, whatever, just some dumb shit that I
Mm-hmm.
probably should have done. But being 6, I was like, oh, I want to go ride my bike instead or whatever. My grandfather came up to me and he's like, dude, I want you to know that like your father's the hardest working man I've ever met in my life. And that even at 6 years old, bro, that memory, just like the whole, like the
Mm,
way he said it, the way things looked and felt like that's a memory that just got like burned into my skull.
mm,
And so I was like, damn, like my grandfather, who's done a lot for himself too, is like saying this. And I'm like, damn, like my dad's fucking, he really worked hard, bro. He hustled. So seeing that and feeling that was something that kind of always instilled that work ethic in me, like knowing that he was always out working and shit
mm,
uh really kind of set the tone and the pace for me of like, okay, like if I want to be successful, if I want to do something, I want to run a business, like I know how many hours he's putting in, I know the type of stuff that he's doing. So like I need to live up to that. I got shoes to fill, bro. Like I can model that and emulate that. There's a lot of other pieces of his life that I don't agree with that have
mm.
impacted me negatively for sure. But I would say that the biggest thing is just the work ethic and the grind and the focus and only putting, what he had to do to support his family first. And that stuck with me a lot. So number one is dad. Um, Number two, um, kind of the first dude that I really found on like YouTube and the internet that was talking about like red pill type topics
Mhm.
and relationship stuff and just like masculinity that really just like cracked my fucking brain open to the whole idea of it was Richard Cooper. I
Mm.
don't know if you know who that
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I heard of him.
Entrepreneurs in Cars.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first guy that I found on YouTube that was making that type of content. And dude, that completely shifted my whole
Mm,
mindset around like women
mm,
and like masculinity and like what it means to be a man and how
mm,
to, handle relationships and stuff like that. And it just gave me so many tools and like little seeds that got planted from watching his stuff when I was a little bit younger that eventually evolved. And now, bro, it's awesome because there's an abundance of YouTubers out there and
yeah.
guys that are, talking about that kind of stuff. But he was the first one that I found that really like made an impact on me and changed the way that I thought about a lot of things. So I would say he's number two. Um, Number three. I like Hamza a lot.
Okay.
Even though there are things that he says that I don't necessarily
Mm,
agree with, I think he's got a really balanced perspective. And I think that he's not like out here trying to prove anything or not trying to put on like an act or be a character.
mm,
And I think he genuinely, you know, talks about things in a way where it's like, hey, implementing this in my life. Here's the results that I've got, or here's what I'm noticing from my personal experience. And I think there's a lot of relatability with that, where it's not like, hey, here's the 3 steps you need to take to
yeah.
do this. It's like, okay, I've taken those 3 steps, implemented them into my life, and here's the results that I got. And honestly, that's what I'm trying to model with my channel as well, is not necessarily talking about like, hey, here's the 3 things you need to do to be a masculine man or keep a
Mm,
woman or,
mm,
get rich. It's like, hey guys, here I am. I'm a guy. I'm on my journey. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to get there too. Here are the things that I'm learning that I'm implementing into my life, and here's the results that I've got. Here are the things that are working for me. Here are the things that really fucked me up along the way. If you can avoid that, avoid it. If you can follow this and emulate this, I co-sign this. I think this is working for me. So try it out and let me know what you think. That's really the position that
mm,
I'm trying to be in. It's just like, bro, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm trying to show you how I'm living mine.
mm.
And what you take from that is up to you.
Okay. Speaking of women, who would you recommend for same thing, age bracket 18 to 21, somebody who's having girl troubles? Who
Mm.
who did you turn to, and who would you recommend they turn to? Who helped you?
Again, I gotta say Richard Cooper, bro. He was the
Mm,
first one that really put me on to like red pill ideology.
okay.
Um, I would say more so than people. For one, Richard Cooper, he's got a book called The Unplugged Alpha. That's a fire read. The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. That's an amazing book. I think that one's really honest in its perspective. And it's not necessarily like some of the red pill stuff, like there's a spectrum of it, right?
Mm,
And some of it is more like pickup artists, like, bro, fuck bitches, be toxic, just
mm,
smash and like, you know, do
yeah.
what you got to do to close the deal. And then there's also like, okay, here's how you keep and maintain a relationship, and you got to present yourself and be a certain type of, you know, just like how to actually manage those relationships. And I think that the book, The Way of the Superior Man, is a very balanced uh perspective on that, where it's not necessarily like pickup artistry, but it's also more like, okay, as a man, here are some things that you need to be doing outside of your relationship
Mm,
for your relationship to actually function and be high quality in and of itself. So I really, really like those books. 48 Laws of Power is good too. I know that one's becoming pretty popular.
yeah, I
That
was
one's
to
been
say I think
blowing
I
up
recently heard of
recently.
that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good, bro. And a lot of people want to be quick to say like, "Oh, this is super toxic," and "Oh, this is manipulative." But at the end of the day, bro, there are people out there that move like that. And whether or not you want to adopt some of those principles is totally up to you. But also just knowing how people think and how people can use certain things against you is a really good defense mechanism as well. So
Yeah.
just being aware of that stuff, honestly, is really helpful. So I'd say that those three books is what I would turn to for like guys struggling with relationships.
Okay. I'm gonna have to write those down too, so I can put them in the links. Um, how did you refocus your plans as how you said you did? You tried marketing, e-commerce, rapping, content creating. Like, how did you pretty much bolt down into where you're at right now?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I had to do was throw my ego to the side, forget about what we've said before about like doing what looks cool,
Mm,
and actually figure out what opportunities do I have, what experience do I have, and where do I actually have the most leverage. Like with the life experience, with the trajectory that I've been on, you know, I've got some experience in this industry. I've got some experience doing that. I've got some experience with content creation. If I take everything that I know, all the things that I've gained by working at other jobs and just being in different places and picking up stuff from other people. And on top of that, infuse some of my like hobbies and my own personal interests, like content creation, like marketing, like, web design and building sites and stuff like that. It was a matter of me humbling myself and being like, all right, I don't give a fuck if it's cool to be like a home service marketing guy,
mm,
but all the experience that I have and the knowledge and the skill set that I have, and also the relationships and the people, like it's the highest leverage position that I can take right now. And by highest leverage, I mean the highest place on like the ladder that I can place myself with the skills, the knowledge, and the connections that I have to other people.
mm,
So, obviously if things had went the way that I wanted to in high school, bro, I'd be like, rapping and producing and working in a studio doing this other stuff. And I did that for a little bit and that was cool, but it wasn't paying the bill. So it's like, all right, my ego is so attached to like, bro, I just want to be doing like the cool thing. But when I really look at my life and look at the other things going on and where I've actually gained experience and where I can provide the most value to people, that's a big one too. It's like, all right, putting all of those things together, I found kind of the situation that I'm in right now, which is like, all right, I like this. I know a lot about this. I can do this and I can help people. And on top of that, the people that I'm helping, the solutions that I provide are worth a lot of money. So boom, like that was it right there.
okay.
I just had to humble myself and look at where I could actually be the most valuable to people. That was the biggest mindset shift for me that kind of steered me in the direction I'm in right now.
Okay. And could you give some advice real quick for obviously like how you quoted the cool thing right now is to create content and be on the internet, being seen, building clout while making money at the same time. We all get it, we understand it. Like, what would you recommend? Obviously, like you said, you dabbled in it, you understand it, you used to do it before, you left it, came back. What steps should they take to trying to be a content creator?
Gary Vee talks about this a lot. I think the process of documentation instead of creating, people are consuming social media and content for like one of two reasons, right? They either want to be entertained or
Mm-hmm.
they want to be educated. And if they're coming to you for education, you better know damn well what the fuck you're talking about
Mm,
if you want to be a source of information for people.
mm,
So also, if for those of you that want to be like entertainers, you got to find something that's unique about you that other people don't have, right? Whether it be your looks, your personality, you're funny, you've got a cool talent or a skill that's unique. Figuring out who you are as a person is only going to help you as a content creator. And the more authentic and the more unique that you can be, and the more that you lean into your perceived quirks, flaws, things that make you different, that's the stuff that people are actually going to gravitate to and resonate with. So on top of that, like, the first piece would be figuring out who you are as a person, and that's the unique angle that you should take with your content to separate yourself from the millions of other people that are trying to do it.
mm,
And then the second thing would just be, don't think about it so much and just start. Dude, my first, bro, I could pull up the gaming videos that I made in fifth grade and they're
yeah,
ass, bro, and they're
yeah.
cringy as fuck. But
Yeah.
dude, I spent hours as a kid recording myself, hearing my own voice, editing, getting used to talking on camera, talking to myself, coming up with video ideas, coming up with thumbnails, figuring out, okay, people clicked on this a lot and liked this.
Mm,
What about that video made it better than these other ones?
mm,
So just going through the motions and getting experience with it is really the biggest thing. And I think that there's this kind of, I mean, not only just with content creation, but with anything in general. People think that they can just start something and 2 months later they're going to be
yeah.
popping and they're in a full-time job. It's like, bro,
Mm,
have a 5-year plan.
yeah.
Shit doesn't happen.
Yeah. I think a lot of people see too many people that just come up overnight over one video that went viral and stuff like that. They think it just happens to everybody, man, and it don't work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, it's like 5, 6 years in
Mm-hmm.
the game, and then a
Mm,
perfect storm happens and shit blows up all at once. So it looks like it was an overnight success, but you got to realize that dude's been grinding for 3, 4, 5,
for
six
real.
years, and the right pieces hit at the right time, and then it all goes up from there.
Mm,
So most people think, and social media can happen fast,
yeah,
dude. For
it
some
does happen.
people, there are anomalies, bro. So you can't rule it out. But generally speaking, it's perfect timing and preparation
Yeah.
coming to an intersection. But that doesn't happen for years
Mm-hmm.
sometimes for a lot of people. So
Very true. All right. So I'm down to my last two. Next one's gonna be I'm gonna give you 3 words. Tell me what's more important to a man as he builds himself up. Money, looks, or status. You have to lose two and only keep one. What's most important?
oh, that's tough. Fuck, they're all literally the most important, bro. Like of all the things in life that you could pick, it's those three. Um, I would say prioritize your looks. And that might hurt a lot of people. That people might take that the wrong way,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a couple of reasons for that.
Yeah.
When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you're going to be more confident. And that's going to help you get status and money.
Mm.
So if you can improve
Mm-hmm.
yourself physically to any degree, your self-image starts to improve. And that literally will benefit and leak into every other aspect of life. So so for a lot of guys, it's like, I don't really know how to go get more money. That's a skill
Mm-hmm.
set that might
Yeah.
take you more time to learn. There might be
Mm.
things you have to do, steps you have to take, a process you have to follow if you want to increase your income. Status, that's something that's pretty hard to achieve too. You got to network, you got to work for that. That
Exactly.
also might take years. But bro, you can go to the gym tomorrow. You can go to the gym right now. You can start building yourself up physically
Mm-hmm.
easily with little resistance, bro. It's like $10 for a gym membership if you go somewhere cheap. You can start buying better groceries, start taking care of yourself, groom,
Mm.
do the things you know you need to do, and that's easy, bro. That's an easy win. So I think that for most people, improving their health is not only the most accessible,
Mm.
easiest thing to get into, but it's also going to leak into those other two things of money and status. It's going to help you get those anyway. So you might as well start there.
Okay. Very good answer, though. And lastly, what is your goal for your channel, your business to touch December 2023?
Hmm. All right. So I do have a goal in mind exactly for December. I have it written down on my notepad right here. So um I'd like for my channel to be monetized, not necessarily for the sake of making money off of it, because I don't really
Mm.
have plans to do that, but it's more just hitting that like 1,000 subscriber goal. I think that's
Mm.
really like where things can start to change for your channel.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the selfish, like, materialistic goal
Mm.
related to the channel. But the biggest thing that's happened in recent months as my videos have started to become a little more popular
Mm.
is like I started to get the comments of like, yo, bro, this really helped. And like,
That's what's
yo,
up.
dude, this, I needed this video right now.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you my goal with the channel for the beginning of this year, which was to create 100 videos. I
Okay.
wasn't going to judge the success of my channel. I wasn't going to think too much about analytics and how people were receiving. I was just going to make 100 pieces of content and see how they were received and see what kind of subscribers and views and everything else looked like at that point. So I'm pretty close to hitting that now. I'm at like 88 videos or something like that.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to hit the 100 before the end of the year. So that was my like actionable step goal of like, hey, I can't control how many subscribers, I can't control how many views, but I can control how much content and the quality of that content that I'm putting out.
Mm.
So now I've kind of raised the bar a little bit. I'm going to hit the 100 pretty soon. So by the end of, this year, whatever, maybe I'm shooting for like 200 or 150 or whatever. But really my goal always from the start has been just to make sure that I'm making content with the intention of it reaching the people that need it the most.
Mm.
So I'm not really focused on like the monetization of the subscribers as much as I am like making sure that I'm being authentic to myself and making sure that the people that are watching it are receiving the things that they need to from that content and that it's helping people. Because if with business as well, this is something that I learned that completely changed the way that I go about running my business. And my YouTube channel, I treat the exact same way. You will get paid in accordance to how much you can help other people.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
bro, if you want the biggest YouTube channel, help the most people. Don't be worried about
Yeah.
views and likes and monetization and AdSense and all this other shit. Like it's cool and it helps because you honestly need that to
Mm.
continue to fuel the content creation process. That's why it's important and that's why I do have those monetary kind of material goals with it. It's only so that it can fuel the evolution and success of the channel even further.
Mm. Okay.
So but ultimately the goal is to help as many people as possible and keep creating content with the intention of, hey, if this just reaches the 5 guys in the world that needed it the most right now today and they watch it and they find it, then that's a big W for me. So
Man, I really like your answer, man. Shows actually true passion because, like you said, the monetization, but not for the money. You actually just reaching for the goal because if you can reach 1,000 subs, people who want to tune in and they know that they're reaching for your content because it's doing good for their life, man, that makes sense. So I applaud you, man, for that answer.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird, bro. On YouTube, it's like, or even on social media, right? The more subs you have, the more subs you get.
Mm.
The more views you have, the more views you get. So indirectly, bro, by my channel growing, it's gonna attract more people that need to see it or could really benefit from seeing it.
Mm.
So that's why those goals are in place. I'm sorry if you can hear my phone going off,
No,
but
no, you good.
really it's like, once you start to build that platform, other people are attracted to it, and then it just like scales from there. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, just building a community, building a tribe of guys that are all trying to grow and improve and get better at themselves and just win at life, bro, is really the mission. And we're starting to build that now, and
Yeah.
it's gaining a little bit of traction day by day. And
Hey man,
I'm really
shit,
looking
man.
forward.
You came across my my algorithm, man. So I mean, I checked you out and I had reached out to you. So man, you on the right track?
Yeah, and I appreciate you, dude. This has been awesome. I've been
Sure.
wanting to do podcasts for literally the longest. You guys are the first one, so bro, I'm
Hey,
hyped. This
now
was an
trust me,
awesome opportunity.
we won't be the last, man. Because after I start posting you, man, people they're gonna find you, man. You on the right track.
Much love, bro. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna steer people in your direction as well, obviously, as well. So
for sure, man. I'll be
much
checking
love,
in,
bro.
tuning in with you soon, man. Appreciate you doing. Thanks for doing the show.
Absolutely, man. It was
All
a
right, man.
pleasure.